Right. I think it's time for me to finally go freelance and start my own Torchwood team like I always wanted. Screw the rest of those guys. It's gonna be awesome. Now, I'm ready.
David?
Billy?
Hi, David!
Hey, what's up?
Oh, well, I'll be quick. Basically, John's banned you from doing a Torchwood recreation.
Why?
You know, blood, gore, sex, swearing, extreme violence, and whales. Ugh.
I'm not seeing the bad points here.
No, David. Nah.
Could I talk about the show at least, and the other spin-offs?
Yeah, sure, man.
Oh, that's great. Thanks, man. Talk to you later.
Toodles!
There's no denying that Doctor Who has impacted us massively in the past 50 years, taking us to vast and wonderful places in the past, the future, across the universe, and introducing us to some amazing characters that have really stuck with us. And sometimes some of those characters are lucky enough to continue their journey after their adventures in the TARDIS have come to an end. Now, there has been their fair share of spin-offs of the 50-year-old science fiction show that we've all grown up with and that we've all fallen in love with. Some that I consider to be great pieces of television writing, some with absolutely unforgettable moments, and there is the ones that you wish you could forget. But good or bad, there is no denying that these spin-off shows show how great Doctor Who is as a television show and shows how vast and wide this ever-expanding universe really is. Now, Russell T Davies may get criticised for his writing on Doctor Who itself, but he created two key spin-offs to the show. And the reason I think this is because he managed to cover three key audience demographics: kids, family, adults. But the journey didn't start there. Let's take a trip back to the 80s, shall we? In 1981, Terence Dudley wrote the script for a pilot for a brand new television series, K.9 and Company. Airing as a Christmas special in 1981, K.9 and Company starred Elizabeth Sladen reprising her role as the companion Sarah Jane Smith, and John Leeson as the voice of her metal dog K.9. The pilot episode of K.9 and Company aired on the 20th of December 1981, and then it was never taken up after that. Not many people remember K.9 and Company. It had a really confusing story, not to mention one of the weirdest opening title sequences I have ever seen. Although the theme tune's annoyingly catchy. But that wouldn't be the last we would see of Sarah Jane Smith and their faithful companion. They appeared a couple of years later in the Doctor Who 20th anniversary special, The Five Doctors, and then we would see them again almost 25 years later. So, when we got reintroduced to Sarah Jane Smith in the 2006 episode School Reunion, the audience fell in love with her all over again. New generations of children fell in love with her all over again, and she became an immediate hit. And because of her success and her popularity with the younger audience, head writer Russell T Davies gave Elizabeth Sladen her own show. And then, the Sarah Jane Adventures were born. Now, got a wee bit of a confession to make here. I watched the pilot episode of Sarah Jane Adventures when it first went out, and then I never watched it. I was a wee bit older, so it didn't really appeal for me. This was a show that was directly aimed at children, specifically younger children. That's not to say that I never watched it. I did watch the 2 specials with David Tennant and Matt Smith in it, and those were cracker episodes when they first, broadcasted. Then shortly after Elizabeth Sladen's death, and when Series 5, the final series, was drawing to a close, I went back and I rewatched all of the Sarah Jane Adventures to see what it was all about. And it was a fantastic show in my opinion. Elizabeth Sladen was just amazing. She was the same old Sarah Jane. We got introduced to a world of amazing new characters like her son and his friends. K.9 was there still. We got introduced to Mr. Smith, this super cyborgy type computer. And there was actually some really clever monsters invented as well. But at the same time, you could see that this was aimed at children. Now, there is one thing I want to quickly touch base on to do with the Sarah Jane Adventures, and that is the Trickster. Probably one of my all-time favourite villains in the Doctor Who universe. His costume isn't overly complicated, and it really just is that more terrifying because it's not a big, green, massive-eyed alien. But that face, voice, and dark cloak really gives him that terror edge. And he's a character completely surrounded in mystery, which is something I love, really. And even though now he's defeated, I would like to see him return. Not necessarily in the Sarah Jane Adventures, but I would like to see him return in Doctor Who. I'm not saying that he was wasted in the Sarah Jane Adventures, he was still a fantastic villain, but by the end of his final episode, I felt like that he should have been in the big leagues. He should have been battling against the Doctor in multiple episodes. I really just hope it isn't the end of him. I hope we see more Trickster. So, let's finally touch bases on Doctor's most successful spin-off to date, Torchwood. Based around former companion Captain Jack Harkness, Torchwood follows a team of alien investigators that fight and deal with alien threats in Cardiff, where most of Doctor Who is shot. Getting series after series after series after series. There's no denying that Torchwood felt like Doctor Who's most successful spin-off show, and even by the time we got to Series 3, it felt like it found its own feet and was actually more of its own show than a spin-off of another show. Winning multiple awards and having a fantastic cast connected into the show itself. We had Eve Miles, who actually played Gwyneth in The Unquiet Dead, and apparently they're related in some sort of distant Cardiff family relation. And we even had Nakamura, who plays Toshiko Sato, the computer genius. She was even in Doctor Who, playing Toshiko Sato. If you watch the credits of Aliens in London, you'll see it says Dr. Sato Nakamura. This is how connected this show is. It's amazing, it's big, and it's wide. Even getting to the stage where Doctor Who, Torchwood, and the Sarah Jane Adventures all collided in the Series 4 finale. In conclusion, these spin-off shows are a big part of Doctor Who. Some of them are good. Some of them are bad. There's no denying it's showing you how great it is. And I like that. Enjoy next week.
Oh my god. Wow. That's incredible. No. No.